All right, guys, welcome back to Family Health and Wealth. We got a quick one here for you. And I just want to start off by saying, guys, mom and dad are right. Life isn't fair. So tonight we got a quick one for you on the Pareto Principle. Levi, are you familiar with the Pareto Principle?
Not before we started looking at this one. I think I've heard it, just not by that title. And so I had to do a little learning about it. But once I figured out what it was, it's something that, yeah, I've seen it. I know a little bit about it. And so, as usual, we're looking for you to bring a little bit more to it. But this rule is something that, it's when you become aware of it, you start to see it more and more. I'm excited about this one because I think it's one of those rules that once you learn it, it helps drive you forward. And so you're going to want to be a part of the 20%. When it comes to the good things, that we're going to talk about here. I won't ruin it because I'll let you go over it, but
Sure.
we'll come back to that portion of it.
Yeah. So, basically, the history on it is from back in 1906. An Italian man, Vilfredo Pareto, was a land surveyor and noticed upon his job that 80% of Italy was owned by 20% of the people. And so he just kind of found that as an odd curiosity as he was going about his work. But then he started to notice it everywhere. And if you were to apply the principle today, it just basically says it's also known as the 80-20 rule. And it just says most things in life are not distributed evenly, so meaning life isn't fair. But the good news is if you focus on the 20% of things that make it better, you will reap 80% of the value. So basically, the Pareto principle states that for many events, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. So that could be applied to, much like Italy, where 80% was owned by the 20%. We also have in the US, 80% of taxes are paid by the top 20% of American income earners. 20% of criminals commit 80% of the crimes. 20% of drivers cause 80% of traffic accidents. We could go on and on and on, even referencing baseball and how, roughly 15% of players equate for 85% of the wins. So it's just a very powerful principle. And I think when you dig into it and start to apply it to your life or your work, if you're a manager at work or something like that, you can look at probably you have 20% of employees that do 80% of the work. And generally those people get promoted and get advancements and things like that. So that's kind of the theory in a nutshell. Again, it's not a law. They don't say it's an observation. But Levi, have you observed this in your personal life?
Yeah, absolutely. And those were the pieces that, I wanted to wait a little bit on, when you talk about 20% producing 80%, when it comes to work, you want to be the 20%, man. I want anybody listening to be inspired to be a part of that 20%. You can worry about all of the other people, that other 80% and what they're going to say. Bottom line is you want to be a part of that 20% because you want to be 20%, that owns, 80% of Italy. And so you want to be the guys that are getting the work done, producing, whether it's sales or, gadgets. You want to be the guy that's out there working his tail off, producing, because like you said, they're going to be the guys that are going to move up. You're going to get pulled into management because of what you're doing. You're going to get pulled into, the director level, the CEO level, because you're capable of producing beyond, the expectation on a normal frontline staffer is basically you have one FTE, which means you want one FTE's work from them. But if you're going to be one of the guys that can get more of that done, and you're going to be one of the 20% where you're going to be producing, more than the rest of the frontline staff. Be that guy, be that leader, get out there and just work hard to become the 20%.
I'll challenge you there. I'll
What's
say,
that?
I'll challenge you there that you want to work hard on the 20% of causes that will give you 80% of the effect. So, so yeah, working hard is good, but working hard on the 20%. So you mentioned sales, and I think in sales, you'd probably look at, well, what really gets you 80% of the effect? It's probably picking up that phone or knocking on that door that gets you 80% of the effect. Yeah, there's the paperwork and the actual product and all that, but probably if you were to apply it to sales directly, it's, are you out doing something to generate the effect you want? So I don't know if you have other examples, Levi, of how you've applied it. Have you found the 20% that is working for you in your role or job to get the 80% effect?
Well, I think that's a great example there where you find the 20%, right? If 80% of all your sales are coming from X, you need to find X and be able to drive that. I mean, I think you and I, at least maybe I won't throw you in there. I am currently struggling to figure that out, right? As I start this business, I'm looking at things and I'm going, all right, where is this 20% at? Where do the internet traffic, what's driving people to my website? Where do I need to be? Where do I need to focus that, find that 20%. And then that's where you're going to spend your time. That's where you're going to spend your money because you want that 80% outcome off of that 20% investment. And so that's what we're looking at right now. And so when it comes to sales, if this tactic works, you're going to focus in on that and you're going to invest more time, more money on that 20% or what was the 20%. And you're going to take that 80% and just try to continue to scale that bigger. And so, yeah, I'm working through that right now, trying to figure out what the best way to make connections and how to take those connections and actually make them into clients. And so I'm working through that right now. But yeah, you start to see that more and more as you go through your day. You can ask probably, any business owner, let's say, it's a restaurant, what are your best sellers? They're going to be able to tell you what those best sellers are. But the problem is they haven't focused on that. They haven't drawn in and gone, okay, if these are the best sellers, why am I producing all of this other stuff on the side? Focus in, maximize what you're going to get out of those, maximize the return on it. And, you're going to see that bump in the overall numbers when it comes to the balance sheet. So you're going to want to just put that effort in there.
Yeah. In a 1998 study of some video shops, they found that 80% of the revenue came from 20% of the video rentals. So you can definitely find it in all those places. I know that's an older study. Video rental
You're gonna
places
have to explain what a video shop is.
Yeah, for all the you youngins out there.
Yep.
But yeah, you can find it everywhere. You can apply it not just in work, but your personal life. Maybe you find that you feel better at work when you spend some time on your morning routine, and that gives you a greater effect at work. Or you could apply it to the food you eat, different things like that. The really cool thing, like you said earlier, is once you're aware of it, the more you can start to become aware of it, and you start to see it in different things. So yeah, it can be a very powerful tool. We just wanted to share that with you guys tonight, have a brief discussion, kind of go over some practical applications, and go from there. Thanks, guys.